This video will show you how to do exercise 603 on page 5-5 of the introductory handout for AutoCAD. Might take a screen capture to get the close-up. It'll involve developing these layers, these names, these colors, these line types, and these line weights. And what else? We'll leave LT scale 1, which I think is more and more common in industry. However, we'll change the line type scale within the properties of a few lines as needed. I think here I suggest 0.3, 0.5, and 1. Not sure why that's 0.28. Don't bother with dimensions, but I want you to do the red crosshairs and the red line along the center of the cylinder. You probably won't get them looking exactly like mine, because I believe this one is still, this one's still left over from when I was using 3 layers of center lines and altering LT scale for the entire drawing, which would work provided your smallest circle is greater than a 1/6, I think, maybe 1/6 or 1/7 of the largest circle. It doesn't appear to be the case, so I might have to study what I did. Anyway, here's the PDF. I'll leave up. We'll start a brand new start from scratch drawing with ACAD.dwt template. All right, there we go. Turn off the window screen. I got dynamic input turned on, polar tracking turned on, and set. Ooh, okay, what is it set for? 0. I think I was doing 3D work. I'll change it to 90 degrees. Got the O snaps turned on and set to the usual 5, end, mid, center, quadrant, and intersection. Turn off everything else. Double check everything is shown on the status bar. Yep, everything is checked. Reduce the AutoCAD window a bit. Okay, can I zoom in? Oh, well, let's build our layers first. Okay, we'll develop the names first, and then go down the colors, and then go down the line weights, and then look at the line types, which take a little more work, because not all the line, because no line types except continuous is loaded. We'll just leave it named drawing 1. I'll click layer properties, and we'll drag this and click new. Going from the top to the bottom, we got center. Yeah, come on. Click new. We got center marks. I'll right click on the layer to rename the layer. Center marks. Click new. Okay, it's ready to be renamed. Blued out text, so whatever I type will rename it. This will be hidden lines. We'll click new again. It's ready to be renamed object. The most important thing, the solid wide or heavy lines in the drawing. Okay, scroll over a hair. Center we want to make red, and that'll be used for just the simple lines we put on it, the straight line in the right side view. I'd say use a red line on center layer. Center mark, make that red as well. However, leave that as continuous. because the Centermark comes in with the cross in the middle of the, what do you call, sniper scope crosshairs. Hidden will make, I think my handout says cyan, but for the sake of display, I'll darken it a little bit. A shade of blue. Object, I've been using green for decades. I'll darken it a little bit for the sake of the display and the printing the handouts. Tab a little over so we see the line weights. All the layers should have default line weight except for the green object layer. So let's click on the default word for the object and scroll down and set it to 0.5 millimeter. That's likely where we're going to be doing the bulk of our drawing. So I'll double click on it to make it current, and also make it current by clicking on this little green check mark icon here. Now we worry about the line types. Center needs to go to center, and hidden needs to go to hidden. Okay, clicked a little too much there, but that's okay. Hidden is the selected layer. I'll click load to add more line types to the menu within the drawing. Every line type you add to your drawing swells the size of the file up a hair. So start from scratch drawing is minimal size, so it's only got continuous line type. We'll click load. I'll scroll down and I want to select center. Now get to hidden, hold the control key down, and I've got hidden selected in addition to center. Okay, holding shift down will get all line types between center and hidden. But I just hold control to get two. If you don't hold any button down, it'll select hidden and deselect center. You can only select one at a time unless you use control or shift to select multiple line types. Click OK. Now we still need to assign which of these loaded line types to the hidden layer. We'll select it to be hidden and click OK. There goes concludes our layers, with the object layer being the current layer that we'll draw on. I'll click close. Zoom back out in PDF. Okay, let's start dead center with the 1 unit diameter circle. Circle slash means diameter. The next one out is a 1.5 diameter, and the third one out is a 2.5 diameter. Draw a line straight up 2.5 units using polar tracking and put 2 circles there. 0.5 diameter for the hole, and we'll start with a circle of radius 5. Arcs tend to be dimensioned by radius, but I wonder if more arcs should be dimensioned by diameter, if that's going to be the tool that the machinists use. Anyway, let's go on here. We'll start circle center diameter. Pick a random point, no absolute coordinate, just say where to start. Pick a random point, and we'll make this a 1 unit diameter circle. Zoom in a hair, click circle center diameter icon again. If it's not on the ribbon, it come down, select it off the fly out toolbar. I'll hover, O snap at the center using one of the 5 O snaps I got set. And the second circle is 1.5. Circle center diameter again, hover, O snap, and the third and largest of the green circles is a diameter of 2.5. Okay, let's draw a guideline straight up. We could draw the circle. Oh, you haven't learned move yet. Or no, I think in week 5 you will have learned that. Well, I'm a big fan of guidelines. Easy to erase. let's see, the guideline straight up that will erase eventually is 2.25, enter. Okay, so at that endpoint, we'll put a 5.5, 0.5 diameter circle, 0.5, enter. And we'll draw a circle with a radius of 0.5 at that same point. 0.5, enter. Now, to draw these lines from top 0.5 radius circle to the bottom 0.25 diameter circle, a lot of students think it looks close enough to snap at the quadrant, the 3 o'clock position, connected to the 3 o'clock position here. And from a distance, it might look okay, but to a computer numeric control machine, if our CAD file ever goes to a computer cutting machine, you'll notice the difference. So the line should be tangent at the top and tangent at the bottom. I'm going to mirror. I believe we've covered the mirror command. I'm going to use the mirror command. So I'll draw one tangent to tangent line and then mirror it across. So for just 2 tangent points, I'm going to use 2 OSNAP overrides. If it were 4, like the serpentine fan belt exercise, then I'd change my OSNAPs to only tangent, and then remember to immediately set them back to the 5 after I'm drawing tangent to tangent lines. But with just 2, I'll use OSNAP overrides. I'll click line. I don't want to use the 5 that are rigged under the OSNAP button. I want to use an OSNAP override for start and stop of this line. I'll hold the shift button down, right click, and pick tangent for the starting point of the line. Click slightly above 3 o'clock, anticipating that's where the tangent would be. Now back to the 5, center, intersection, endpoint, quadrant. So I need to use another OSNAP override for the second point, the end, the final point of this line. OSNAP overrides are only good for 1 point. So once again, hold the shift key down, right click, and pick tangent again use the OSNAP or the tangent OSNAP for the second point of the line. Click slightly above 3 o'clock, anticipating where tangent would be. That's perfect. It's like a piece of string wrapped around these 2 pulleys or spools. It just blends in perfect, and then you can't feel the transition between the straight line and the curved surface. It's machined well. Now to make the line over here, rather than doing all that right click and pick OSNAP overrides, I'll just mirror this line about 2 points along the vertical center line I drew. Pick the 2D mirror command, looks like 2 30-60 right triangles back to back. Select the circle we just drew, hit enter. It's asking specify point, first point on mirror line. Any 2 points along this vertical line are good. And the second point, you can just polar track up. I'll pick the top of this guideline and polar track up for a second point. So it'll reflect that line on the right over to the left. Left click. No, I do not want to erase the objects. These options appear because dynamic input is turned on. I'll try to be consistent, use click options on the command prompt as I demonstrate in class. Click no. Can't think of a use for this line further, so I'll erase it now, get it out of the way, recreate it if I think of a need. While we're here, let's trim this guy away. No, let's leave it for the circle that we'll draw the center mark to. And trim it after that. Not sure if a center mark will work on less than a circle. I'll have to experiment, but I know it'll work on a full circle. Okay. Let's go ahead. Oh, by the way, line weights do not show unless you click the line weight show hide button on the status bar. I agree with the tradition or the popular standard that we turn off line weights displayed until we're getting close to printing. Whether they show or not on your exercise on your display, they'll print on the paper honestly 0.5 millimeter, regardless whether it's on a quarter, a business card sheet of paper or a square yard sheet of paper. Let me pause for a second. Be back in a minute. Okay, I want to start building the right side view. So I want to build a bunch of guidelines straight to the right. A student the other day asked what I think, or what do I like the construction line, and I don't see a great advantage over a regular line, but maybe I'll try to exercise it and I'll change my mind. Click down draw, and the construction line, which goes forever, is this icon here on the drop down panel of the drop down section of the draw panel. Okay, now the beauty of this is you can click 2 points close together and form your guideline, because it'll go forever in either direction. The zoom all won't zoom out to forever. Zoom all and zoom extents will ignore the X lines, but I'll try them out. Click X line, pick 1 point to start and polar track just a hair. And there's the other one. Hit enter to finish. It's interesting. I never noticed 3 grips. I believe the point between the two I selected gets homed in by the midpoint. Okay, no, it appears to be the first point I use for the construction line, or the X line is homed in by the midpoint. Okay, not sure how helpful that is. Either case, let's copy it down from there to 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 there. And this is very, very close, but that tangent line terminates right there. Center could be quadrant just as easily. Bottom quadrant. Okay, now that annoying midpoint won't interrupt me while I'm drawing lines vertical like it does with regular lines. Okay, and I'll start a regular line. No O snap. I could use a near O snap, but I seldom teach that, so I'll just start with a random point, come down to the intersection. I need to copy or offset that line 1.25 to the left to get this guideline, which coincidentally lines up with this line. Maybe I should change that. And then copy or offset that second line back to make a third line here, and then return to the first line and offset further out. Actually, copy command could work for both. Copy this line to the left. I can do this guideline and this guideline easily. Let's go that way. Copy. Select my random line, which I probably should trim. It's too late now. I'll copy it 1.25 to the left. Enter. And while I'm pointing to the left, I'll copy it 1.5 to the left. Okay, those distances don't add up. They're all from the original line. You know, I could put copies every half an inch. Anyway, let's see. Oh, okay, I need to copy this line to the right, 0.75, to get a guideline right down here. I'll use offset just for variety. Copy will work as well, but just for variety, I'll click offset. I'll set that offset distance to 0.75. 3/4 would work. What do I want to offset? Select that line. Which way? Right or left? I'll click to the right. Hit enter. Now that's all the lines I need to draw the right side view. Okay. I'll later erase the guidelines here by selecting across the top, and I'll erase these, my crossing windows, select them all there. So it's kind of risky using the same layer, but I'll start the line command and click around and attempt to do all the green lines of the right view, starting there, straight over to that intersection. And we'll come all the way down to that point where the tangent line blends into the bottom big circle or cylinder. Enter. Okay, and we'll start the next one. I'm going to go across from here down, back up. First point is there. So there, all the way down, cross, and nope, I don't want to close because I started there. I'll just go up to here. Did I do this already? Can't remember. I'll find out. Enter. See, let's start an erase command. Yep, 2 items are found. So I did draw a vertical line. I think I can assume I got 2 lines there as well. I believe that's, double check, did I do 2 lines here? Forgot already. Start a modify command. Okay, no, I have not done this little pin there. All right. And again, this is, like I said, the using the same layer as the object causes some confusion. I think we got it. Okay, let's change the current layer to hidden and trace the grid to form all these cyan or blue hidden lines. Click line, lining up with there. Yep. Cross down to there, back. Enter for the last used command. Oh, I forgot that line right there. Not a problem. I'll use the midpoint of this line to mirror this later. Let's see, we'll finish. Nope. I think it's time to erase. Yep. Let me draw another guideline. It's for the 0.25. Forgot that when I was doing the vertical lines. Copy. Select that line, enter, and copy it 0.25 to the left. Now I can go, I'm still on hidden layer current. This is a, okay, I guess it's the copied line is on the object line because the original was on the object line, even though the current layer was hidden. I'll start another hidden line from there to there. Enter, enter, another hidden line, enter, there to there, enter, enter. Okay, coincidentally, that's the midpoint. Never noticed that before. I'll double check that. Okay, come down and back. Enter. I believe now I can erase all guidelines. These, enter. I'll double check those lines are perfect. Yep, never noticed that that's the midpoint. I'll erase. Okay. The line spacing is a bit big for me. I like to have at least one, preferably two gaps in every hidden line, even the shortest one. So I'm going to select all these cyan hidden lines, right click, pick properties, and set the Linetype Scale modifier within the properties of all 8 of these hidden lines to say 0.3. I think that was what was advised on the handout. Okay, it looks a little bit coarse. Yeah, I'm guessing I used 0.5. Pan over the instructions. Yeah, 0.5 probably is better, is what I used. Select all those hidden lines again and change the Linetype Scale modifier for all 8 of those to 0.5. Hit escape. Okay, that looks more like the handout. We need a red center line across the cylinder center line here and across this pin. Now, it's debatable whether the center line should go all the way through the plate. I guess it depends on how it's manufactured. It's probably a pin inserted into a hole, so yes, it would go all the way through, but I'll leave it, I'll keep it to the handout. We'll go to center layer, click line, and I'll draw a red center line from the midpoint there to the intersection there, enter. Okay, I'll lengthen it and check the LT scale modifier for it in a minute. Click line again, start at the midpoint, go to the intersection. Okay, now I want to scale each of these by 1.3. 1.3 is what I like for across a circle, and I see no reason why not keep it for a linear, a single center line instead of the circle crosshairs center lines. So we'll click a scale, select one, enter, snap in the middle, type 1.3. And repeat the process. Select that, enter, base point 1.3. Enter. Now, let's see. Sure, where I used the LT scale 1. Well, that's probably for the hidden lines, or the solid lines, so maybe I'll take 1 off of the list. Okay, let's hopefully we can use the same Linetype scale multiplier for both of these. Let's see if 0.5 will work. 0.5, enter. Escape, nothing. All right, we'll select them both and go smaller. 0.3, enter. Interesting. I'm starting to wonder if I set the center line, the layer line type for center to be center line type. Okay, let me check the layers. I forgot to change the line type for the center layer to center. Always something, ain't it? Okay, this has 3 breaks in it, so I'm guessing 0.5 will make it perfectly match the handout. I'll leave that at 0.3, though I doubt 0.5 will significantly change it. Maybe make that dash just a hair longer. Let's pick this and set it to 0.5. There. Okay, now the center marks. It's a new way of drawing center lines on crosshairs. Unfortunately, center marks are not on the home tab anywhere. You can dimension on the annotation tab, but the annotation tab, I'm sorry, panel of the home tab doesn't have center mark. Got to go to annotate tab. Here is center mark. Okay, we'll click center mark. It'll come in on the current layer, which is hidden, I believe. I'll move it to center mark layer. What the heck? Yes, on second thought, let's change the current layer to center marks. And we'll put them both on center marks layer. Click center mark, click the big circle at the top, pick the big circle at the bottom. Enter to finish. Interesting that line type is not center to. Okay, the line type is center to, but you don't see the gaps anywhere. So I would say it's not necessary to change the line type of these center marks to continuous. If you zoom in and you see gaps, which might be your company standard, anyway, to be on the safe side, I'm going to change the line type of these 2 lines from center to that they came in on, even though I didn't load center to. They came in on the center to, added center to the menu. I want to change them to continuous because these gaps are not part of the line. The center mark is a new type of item that has those gaps in it, regardless of the LT scale. Anyway, okay, let's dimension. Oh, wait a minute. We haven't learned dimensioning yet, have we? Okay, that's not part of the exercise. Don't bother with dimensions. We'll learn that later. Okay, let's clear up the white space. And I guess we'll try to make it equal to the handout, anticipating we'll add dimensions in week number 8. If you're not going to print the dimensions, then I'd like the views to be closer. Let's go ahead back to home, click move, select the right side view and slide it over. Guessing about right there would be the same distance, about half the diameter of the large circle, the 2.5 circle. There. Save it if you want. Double check the line weights show. By the way, it's not on the handout. I used to add a little whisker to show that this blends in. For a while, I was drawing 1/8 of a circle. That's a lot of work. And again, follow your company standard. Oh, I don't have 45 turned on. Well, I won't bother. I might add a little line there and change it to the object layer just to show it blends in. Handout doesn't show that, so I won't ask you to do it. Leave everything's in order. Center marks are the current layer. Might be polite to leave object as the current layer before we deliver this CAD file to the client. Interesting. I just noticed. Okay, we might draw a center line there to get close to the. Oh, that's right. The extensions that I like are slightly longer than the Centermark puts on. There's a system variable that you can tell them to be a certain length outside of the circle, but I like them to be a percentage of the diameter. I haven't figured out how to force that to be a percentage of the diameter. The cross size and the cross gap can be a percentage of the diameter with a system variable. Anyway, you lengthen the extensions on a center line by selecting the center line center grip. Don't click on it a second time. Just rest your cursor on it and gently slide over to change extension length. Stretch it out to look more like the handout. And I like to have 15% of the diameter outside of the circle. This one's really close, but I'll do the same. Make them slightly longer. There. I'd say that red line is optional. But call that good enough. Save it if you want. When we get to dimensioning, I'll have a ready-made assignment for you with lots of machine parts to practice with. Can't remember if this is on that file or not. Save it if you'd like to practice dimensioning with it later. I believe I met the contract. Don't bother. Yeah, I'm going to leave one there because all these object lines have got an LT scale of 1 because there's no need to does nothing to change them. And got the layers. I believe I'm done. See you next video.